Good morning, guys, and welcome to today's episode of Market Check. We are kicking off a new week, and it is a reminder, guys, as always, there is no second best daily YouTube live stream to talk about these markets. Welcome. I mean, look, the last few days, I guess we had a little bit more volatility over the weekend than we're accustomed to, right? I mean, Bitcoin sold off 4 or 5% on a Saturday or a Friday night, either one. It's not often that happens, right? And we squeezed, back to the highs. Obviously, we're kind of still digesting the magnitude of the move that we had, but I think opportunities being present on the weekend speaks to how favorable these market conditions have really become here over the last few weeks. But welcome, guys. I'm Snorlax. You also know me as Tommy. I'm joined, of course, by Max Tucker, Jackus, and Dr. Will's Outlook. I hope you all had a phenomenal weekend, like I said. Real quickly, though, before we get cooking, brand new week, before we start sharing all of that big, juicy alpha for you guys, we always appreciate when you guys smash that like button for us before we get started. It always means a lot to us when you guys engage with our content. And of course, our channel has been going parabolic lately, and that is in no small part due to you guys, the audience, being present here each and every single day, just like us. So do us a favor and smash that like button. Maybe we bug you again, maybe we don't. Either way, guys, let's have a great week. It's Monday. I had a great weekend spending time with my fiance, watching college basketball. Obviously, we have March Madness here coming up, so I'll be looking forward to that. But let's talk markets, right? Like I said, Bitcoin had a little bit of volatility over the weekend. It's not often that we have that happen, selling off 4 or 5% on majors, but some of these altcoins, I mean, we low-key had meme coin capitulation on Saturday. I was looking at Doge, Pepe, WIF, kind of all down almost 20% intraday. So we had a lot of volatility. Obviously, like I said, on Sunday, we bounced back up. We had some mean reversion. Equally, kind of equal, weekend opportunity and weekend volatility present to the upside as well. And now, like I said, we're digesting this move. Will we pull back into a new low? Will we stop just short and rip to new highs? I think it's interesting, right? Because contrary to crypto kind of selling off this morning, you have equities literally gapping up over 1%. It's not very often that happens. Basically, everybody who was short over the weekend or on a Friday afternoon just got taken to the cleaners. But we've been seeing this from equities over and over and over again, and it's not too surprising. It's almost mechanical at this point, intentional, a feature, if you will, not a bug. But who is telling the truth, guys? Is it Bitcoin kind of bleeding here? Is it the S&P? I think obviously altcoin volatility is going to be very dependent on which one is telling the truth. But I'd love to get y'all's thoughts. Brand new week. Happy Monday, guys. How was y'all's weekend, by the way? And what are we seeing in the markets?
Yeah. Hey, guys. Hey, Tommy. Guys, it's over. I guess we should just sell everything, man. We should pack it up, start the buses, keep them warm, guys. It was fun while it lasted. That's it. That's it. So we're gonna shut down the business. We're gonna cancel the show. And it was really great hanging out with you guys for the couple years that we did this. But let me be the first to tell you that it is completely over. Is what I would never say, because it is so not over. Guys, everybody take a deep breath, all right? Everybody take a deep breath. Everybody take a deep breath. First of all, happy Monday, guys. Happy Monday. We love to see the volatility. We love the action, guys. But our team is cool, calm, and collected. Who could have foreseen? Let me start with this, guys. Max is becoming Will. Yeah, I'm going to move in next to Will, man. He's got a nice cozy spot at the bottom of a dumpster next to some chewed up bubble gum and maybe some like deep fryer grease from a local Chinese restaurant. So yes, maybe some vegetable oil just like pasted on the bottom of the dumpster. But anyways, guys, look, go back and we'll study previous cycles. Maybe we'll even do it on this show. Who knows? All right. We'll see how much we want to cook here. These types of corrections are not only common in a bull market, but they are also very necessary in a bull market. it is not uncommon to see multiple 15, 20, 25, 30% corrections, guys. It is not. It's actually very, very healthy. Furthermore, to add some additional context into the equation, and we'll pull up some visuals for you guys later on and really draw this out. What is actually, even more incredible is that we are doing basically what we do every other cycle. Okay, Bitcoin kind of chops around, struggles to evaluate, where it wants to kind of form a local low. There's some turbulence around the all-time high, and what do we see when that happens? Total 3 gets destroyed, guys. Total 3 gets absolutely incinerated. Okay. This happened in 2020 as well, in the 2021 cycle. Same exact thing, this type of local volatility. Um, my trades, my timing is, it's not a multi-day outlook, it's a multi-month, multi-quarter outlook because I'm of the opinion, and you can disagree with me, that I don't care how good of a trader you are. I don't care how awesome you are at scalping or day trading. It's extremely unlikely that you are going to outtrade percentage-wise a Bitcoin parabola. It's even more unlikely that you are going to outperform a Bitcoin dominance capitulation while Bitcoin is in price discovery, implying that altcoins are going absolutely nuts. You could be the best scalper alive. It's extremely unlikely. Maybe 1 out of 100,000 people could do that. So when I look at the market in terms of what has happened previously and where are we potentially right now, I say to myself, okay, Bitcoin dominance has been in a 1.5 year long, 18-month long uptrend, and it's starting to show the beginning signs of exhaustion, right as Bitcoin USD is making a new all-time high, right? And then similarly to last cycle, Bitcoin USD rejects from the all-time high. We start to see some turbulence, total 3, total 2, everything begins to sell off. What does history tell us? History tells us that that is the dip to shove. I don't know exactly where this is going to bottom, but I'm not concerned about it because I know that it's going to bottom, and I have the utmost confidence from a probabilities perspective that there is a higher than likely not ch- there's a higher than likely there- there's a higher probability. Excuse me, I need to have some stimmy, guys. There's a higher likelihood than not chance that we spring out of this thing maybe later this week or
Is there a
sometime next
dog?
week.
Yeah, I
Yeah, we
hear
hear
it
a
too.
dog barking. We hear a dog bark. Whoever that is, put yourself on mute. I don't know whose dog that is. But point being is, guys, these local corrective phases, they should be embraced. They should not be feared. You know, I see a lot of people, very, very concerned about this. And I spoke, and actually I said this to our Discord this morning in our Discord call. I said, I actually remember where I was last cycle when Bitcoin was chopping around its previous all-time high, struggling to break out. And the last time it was, Bitcoin got stuffed at 20K, which was the 2017 cycle all-time high. And I remember where I was. I was laying on my back on the couch at my old house that I don't live in anymore. And I remember I was newer to crypto at that time. And I said to myself, I was like, man, I see these guys on Twitter saying it's over and that was it. And, we just we had COVID and there's no way we can have another crypto cycle. There's not there's not a catalyst for it. People are still unemployed, all this stuff, And they said that was the biggest bear trap of all time. It's not going to happen. And at the time I was still learning, I was a year into my crypto journey. I, was just kind of buying and holding. I was still working in my other business, and I felt really concerned. I was like, man, I'm kind of up a decent amount of money. What if these guys that have hundreds of thousands of followers are correct and it is over? And I didn't sell. I was just like, whatever, it's fine. I'm just gonna keep holding it. But that area that Tucker has outlined right there was really, I remember the feeling there. I remember watching it. I remember where I was thinking damn, what if we just never get through that level? And then we obviously just chewed through it and we were 3x higher 4 months later. Okay. We are somewhere around here, guys. We are somewhere around here. And again, that level that Tucker has on the right, Tucker, maybe you could actually just draw a horizontal ray from the 2017 all-time high on your chart on the right, just so people can see that we actually were right underneath the previous all-time high. Yeah, so if you could just draw a horizontal line right on the top of that. Yeah, now we zoom back in. That was the 2017 all-time high. Like, we swept the all-time high and then just got jeeted. What are we doing right now, guys? What are we doing right now? The same exact thing. The old sweep and jeet. All right. What are all the influenzas on X doing? They're telling you that it's over. That was it. Triple top. We're done.
Max, don't look at the Nvidia price action. We may or may not be replicating it.
Yeah, we are, and I want to talk about that too. That's a great point, Tommy. So, anyways, guys, point being is, you know, if we had just gotten done, if we had just finished up a 6-month Bitcoin dominance bleed, and ETH and Sol and all your shit coins were going crazy, and we were having price action like this, and we were, first and foremost, if we had already had the Bitcoin halving, we haven't even had a Bitcoin halving yet, guys. Bitcoin halving is in 5 weeks. I mean, guys, what type of probability do you attach realistically to the audience or anybody in the panel, right, that we not only have a cycle of firsts in the sense that we made an all-time high for Bitcoin before a Bitcoin halving, and we're also going to have a global top before a Bitcoin halving? Come on, guys. Come on, guys. We can't have that many firsts, right? We can't have that many firsts. Guys, this corrective phase is somewhat foreseeable, right? It happens every single cycle. Again, specifically, altcoins get destroyed right around here. And then when Bitcoin definitively gets above its all-time high, when you see Bitcoin back above 72, 74, 76, that is when alt season begins, guys. That is when alts go crazy. So, my opinion, it's a patience game. It's going to require a little bit of patience, but I think we come out of this a lot stronger. I really do.
Now, Max, I want to ask you something. Do you think, I've been toying around with this, like, do you think that it's this or it's this? Because studying this, right, there's a case to be made that we did this already, right, and that this is the higher low.
Mm-hmm.
My original base case was that we were going to do something like this, though. Would we go to like 76 and then just go, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I can kind of see this having happened.
Here's the thing. I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters if we. Yeah, I don't think it matters. Not that. So what matters is that we're somewhere in this cluster. We're somewhere in this like reaccumulation under the previous all-time high, like you have drawn here. I hope that this is where we're at right here, and I hope that this low holds because it's more fun to just like run it back turbo. But I think the thing to note is like higher time frame from a cycle perspective, like what's happening here. It's like if you were to throw up Bitcoin dominance on the bottom here, or like you can even leave that, Tucker, right? Like
wait. We have to look at the weekly first, though.
Okay.
Because it's just insane. It's literally
Let me know when you guys are done talking about this so I can start attacking the audience.
Oh my God, Will.
No audience attacking, Will.
It's a Monday, Will. You can't even let them recover from their weekend.
I mean, hang on, we got to mark out the all-time highs, actually.
So I just want to point out one thing. The whole having dump thing and look back 4 years, like you have to understand when a pandemic has occurred, it's a black swan event. If you're using that as a use case to say this is a reason for dump, you're either new or maybe you didn't make it to the double digits in in high school, right? Maybe you didn't make it to the double digits in high school. So it's one of those scenarios. Nobody can predict a black swan event. Absolutely nobody. And if you go back through history, look how many times a pandemic has happened. Very, very rarely. It's literally the worst thing you could poke at or point at in crypto's entire cycle is 2020 to 2021. It's literally the worst use case you could use is that pullback. If you were to point out any other pullback prior to that, we could discuss it. But 2020 to 2021 is the worst thing that you could use. It's the most unlikely outcome that you could even think of.
So, Tucker, or did you want to explain this, Tucker, first?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
look at this. We literally had this candle.
And guys, that white line that he has drawn right there, the horizontal, is the previous all-time high. Just if
Yeah.
you missed it.
I mean, you literally put in this candle last week expecting this and then that and then that and then that and then that, honestly. Like, and this one would be brutal, this
That'd probably be like 61.
this weekly would be brutal. Well, because you went and put in a high like up above there. So, I mean, you'd go to like 76, like I was saying, and then you'd come back basically to where we are now. You basically come back to like 67, 68, and then you'd literally go straight up in a straight line. So, I don't know.
Tucker, could you go back to the first? You could leave all that. Can you go back to, I think you were on the daily maybe for both of them. What time frame were you on initially?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Where'd it go?
Go to the 2017 one. You got, yeah, there you go. Perfect.
2020.
So let's zoom back in. Let's get the let's get the charts kind of looking.
Dominance.
Yeah, let's throw Bitcoin dominance on the bottom of both charts, okay? So you could just no. So go to the upper left corner for me, just so these stay the exact same.
Oh, you
right?
don't
Go
want
to the
another
upper.
pane?
Yeah. So let's just add dominance to the bottom of both. Okay.
Pane or same price?
Yeah. New pane on both, and then do to the other chart as well. Perfect. Now let's zoom out a little bit and go to the right so we can see like the bull market. So scroll to the right on that chart. There you go. So I want to highlight here and then maybe adjust the chart on the right so that the green box is kind of centered like the chart on the left.
Yeah, man, you didn't peak till here.
Right. So
that was your dominance peak.
Right. So one thing to note here is like there's a possibility that Bitcoin dominance puts in like a deviation to 55, 56, 57. Okay. But at the same time, this has also been a cycle of front runs. And we've been monitoring that, this entire cycle so far, going back to Q4. For one, we made a Bitcoin all-time high before a halving, right? Like the cycle is being front run. We're also seeing, the obvious rotation into the beta with Pepe AI happening quicker than expected, right? There's been a lot of front running that has occurred. Would I personally be waiting and betting big money on a deviation in Bitcoin dominance? I feel more comfortable positioning now and just being okay, like, hey, if Bitcoin dominance makes one more push up, I expect that to be a deviation that gets faded over, multiple months. But I wouldn't be willing to like sit and wait for like a full position. I think the best way to go about that as a hedge in case Bitcoin dominance does rally and alts get destroyed against Bitcoin on the next leg up. I think that the best thing to do is to not hold Bitcoin, but to hold Bitcoin beta, hold STX, hold puppets, ordinals. If Bitcoin goes up 1%, what's going to go up 2%? That's sort of a Bitcoin affiliate, right? So yeah, I think those are going to be the best things to hold if Bitcoin dominance chads up again. But look at what Tucker's drawing right now, guys. Like this is, in my opinion, what is right around the corner is as expected, there's turbulence at the all-time high. Things are choppy. But what's right around the corner is absolute alt mania right here. Same thing that happened
Not
last
just,
cycle.
but Max, not just alt mania. Like, what are people looking for? Why are people even trying to argue or discuss a retrace? In a lot of cases, not us. We're talking about the charts, but I feel like a lot of people come on, not even to the show, but just in Twitter in general, and try to be like, "Oh, well, this is the next pullback, bro. I'm sitting on cash until this happens." I've watched that play out too many times already. Since the beginning of this cycle, since 25K, I'm sitting on cash and waiting for this to happen. Okay, at what point were you not in cash? Because none of your scenarios actually played out in reality. None of them. Absolutely none of them. All this whole having pullback never played out. The whole freaking, we're gonna pull back the trend at 40K, never played out. Because really you should have filled down to 30. Again, I think just people are too confident in something that they truly don't understand, when in reality the market is telling you something different. That's what it's telling you. It's telling you up, and if you don't like it, too bad, shove it, stick your finger up your butt, we're going up. That is what it is. All right. Um,
Will. I love the energy, man. I love the energy. I love the energy.
all
But
right, I'll sell.
I need you to dial it back just 2 notches, not like 6 or 7, just 2. And Will, you have a lot of experience in these markets. This is a good opportunity for you to educate the audience and help them learn. You know, don't command them, educate them, because you have a lot of wisdom to share. So let's just crank it down 2 notches, and I want you to cook for them. You've been through recessions that most of us haven't been through. You've traded through turbulence that most of us don't have the experience in. So a lot of people tune into this show and they're like, I want Will to educate me. So Will, I'll ask you to crank it down 2 notches and educate. Let's see it.
Yeah, I mean, as far as everybody here, a lot of people they're probably in their 20s, probably early 20s. They're probably, just graduated high school or just got into college. But the reality is like in '08, I was well into my 20s, like later 20s. I was here for these recessions. I graduated in '04. So I wasn't a kid, I wasn't a child when these things happened, but I did experience 2000, and that was through financial hardship through my family. And I think like a lot of people haven't really experienced that in itself either. So I think like knowing like what financial hardship looks like versus crying because I can't go buy, the latest pair of Yeezys is a lot different than what a lot of people are actually thinking, right? A lot of people are sitting here talking about, well, this is unaffordable, that's unaffordable. Well, you're eating, right? You're eating. Are you gaining weight? Probably. So if you're gaining weight, then you're eating more than you should be eating, so you're perfectly fine. So you saying that you can't afford food or you can't afford this or you can't afford that, until you're living under a bridge and not eating, you can't sit there and say things aren't unaffordable, because they are. Reality is sometimes you have to work to live, and sometimes you live to work, and that's just how the economy works. If you're in the sub middle class, which means below, um, I think like if you're in the middle class, yes, you'll struggle at times, but you will do fine. And I think the middle class is doing perfectly fine. They're the ones that pay the bills in a lot of cases, and since they're paying the bills, um, you know, at the end of the day, the economy is perfectly fine. Everybody wants to look at the poor, right? And I'm not saying the poor shouldn't be looked at. What I'm stating is, though, is the poor is the worst example to be looking at when you're looking at a not fair, but a not well run either. I'm trying to think of a proper word to say here, but an economy that's still working, right? An economy that's still working.
Functioning.
Functioning, yes. Because the poor are paid for by the middle class. The middle class pay the taxes. And then the rich, they pretend to pay taxes in a lot of cases, don't necessarily pay taxes in comparison to what they make. But, we can argue that that's potatoes, tomato, I think tomato at the end of the day with a lot of people. Um, but overall, as long as the middle class is functioning, then the economy is functioning, right? If the middle class is not functioning, that means the middle class is actually becoming poor. Then, at that case, now we've got a problem. And because the middle class is functioning, you're continuing to see dial ins in the market. There's no systemic risk. There's no systemic issues. Inflation is actually good for assets if it ends up coming back. So you'll actually get quite a bit of run up in that. And I think the only time people need to be looking at this and be like, okay, where are we screwed? It's when inflation settles back in. When inflation starts to surpass 7 to 8%, you need to really pay attention to the market. When inflation is below those numbers, we'll even say 5. I'll be fair. I'll say 5. When inflation is below 5, just shut up and bid. That is what it is. There's no other discussion about it. There's no systemic issues outside of that. We can sit there and we can look at rates and say rates are expensive. Okay. Well, guess what? Rates and housing prices, rates and car prices, they adjust. They adjust according to what? According to affordability, which means that if rates are too high, cost comes down, right? If rates are too low, cost goes up. That means the cost of the asset, the cost of whatever you're buying, whether it be a house or a car, or whatever you're getting it on credit on. So so many people don't discuss the actual nuances of how the economy works. They like to just say, "Oh, well, look at this example, and this is why." That's all they say. They look at 2008. This is why. Look at 2000. This is why. No, there were things already occurring. There were things already stewing that created those scenarios, and the same thing will happen for the next one. You will see it coming ahead of time. A lot of people act like this is a hard game to play. It's not. The government puts it right before your eyes. What happened right before Luna collapsed? What happened right before FTS collapsed? Oh, Mr. Fed came out and said, "Hey guys, we're probably going to raise rates. We see inflation is high, and we're probably going to raise rates." And then what they do? They raise rates, and everybody cried, and then the market crashed. He told you what he was. He told you his hand before he did it, and people didn't want to look at that. So I mean, I don't know if you guys got anything you want to add to that, but I mean that's really the easiest. It's not a hard thing to sit here and look at this market and say I need to bid.
Yeah, a lot of great points there, Will. A lot of great points. One question I have for you, Will, is you said if inflation is under 5%, shut up and bid. You don't think that inflation, if we saw a headline CPI print of 5.0, that would be problematic?
If we saw a headline of 5.0, I think the Fed is. I want to be careful of my words because I don't think the Fed's dumb. I think when they're incompetent, it's on purpose. I don't think it's ever by accident. And I think like when you saw the Fed let inflation run to 9%, that wasn't an accident, right? That was intentional. And that was intentional to get the economy to cool down because you had to make it over dramatically to the upside before you can really kind of take a year by year stance to hold the economy under a high interest rate environment, right? So they couldn't have stopped it at 5 and be like, okay, we're gonna raise interest rates here. That could have collapsed the economy. They had to let it run a lot higher and a lot hotter than what most people were expecting. And I think like that's kind of the kicker here, is that once you start getting around 5, you're probably going to continue up, and then as long you can continue to play in the market and dabble with it, but expect higher inflation rates than what you're probably thinking, and then expect the Fed to step in once you probably start getting around 7, 8.
Okay.
It literally, like, here's I'll give people the easiest playbook in the world. Inflation is the key to everything. It's literally the key to everything. If inflation's high, expect that's where fear will settle in, right? Why will fear settle in? Because you have the most froth in high inflationary environments. Your assets are worth a ton. But if inflation is low, that's where you need to be start trying to dial in because you're going to get that circle back, right? Inflation will go back up eventually, but you want to be dialing when inflation is low. And we started to see inflation come down into the 3s and the 4s fairly early. And if people would have been in those ranges as it was coming down, they would have caught the bottom of the market.
I think inflation rising, not to a detrimental level, but just kind of slowly creeping up. There's a 100% chance that the media is going to be talking about that for the entirety of the cycle. And the idea that we're allocating to, and we talked about this before, to be able to beat inflation rather than based on any fundamentals is, I think, going to take shape increasingly more. And you can kind of see this with You know, obviously altcoins are creeping or ticking up more and more as we have distance ourselves away from October. But I also think you're going to see things like IWM throughout the course of this year really run super hard, which, you know, for altcoins, you have to imagine is a really favorable backdrop. But I just think, you know, if the goal is to beat inflation prints that are progressively ticking up over, you know, not a rapid period of time, that is going to be a very favorable environment for small caps and beta in general.
That's why growth works, Tommy. That's exactly why growth works. Growth works because nobody wants to touch it until it's actually like overly priced, right? Growth works because you're seeing right now people positioning in the highest growth, most and keep in mind, higher growth means higher risk. That's what they go hand in hand. A lot of people don't even realize that. They think that growth is growth and risk is risk. No, they are hand in hand. Growth and risk are two and one and the same. And this is why Apple stays steady and growth gets crushed, aka Tesla and all these other ones that are growth stocks. And if you look at crypto, what are you seeing everybody bid? They're bidding growth. What is growth? Culture coins, shit coins, whatever you want to call them at the end of the day. They're growth. Why? Because they can be one night at 20% off the low to all of a sudden 45,000% off the low, right? In a 24-hour period. That is extreme growth. That is extreme risk. And with that risk, you're going to get crushed. It is what it is. Only a couple people win in those games. But you're seeing people leverage towards the growth side because they know the second inflation comes back into play, these growth assets are going to go to extremes. The Pepes, the freaking Mogs, the Shibas, like all these things are gonna just absolutely boom when inflation settles back in. Everybody's gonna think, oh, it's fine this time, and then they're all gonna get wrecked again. But at the end of the day, you can take advantage of that, right? You can take advantage of that.
Dude, look at total 3, man. This is uncanny. Uncanny right here. Look at that. Right when you get above that value area high, you chop a little bit and send. I mean, what are we talking about?
Yeah, man. I mean, and look at when that happened too. If you were to put Bitcoin on the bottom of the screen, you would see exactly where Bitcoin was. Bitcoin literally was chopping underneath the 2017 all-time high right there. You have to put it in logs so we can see it. But look at where Bitcoin was. It was literally right where it's at right now.
Total 3 is outpacing everything right now, and I think it's only going to continue.
Like what are the
No,
odds that this is
whoa. What do we no. Bitcoin is
Oh yeah.
outpacing total 3 for sure.
No, I'm talking about as of lately, in this last sprint, this last leg, Total 3 has been killing it.
Okay,
Like these altcoins have just been astronomical gains. Astronomical gains. Like I
Yeah.
can't even like you're literally watching things go 45,000% overnight. Just do the numbers, right? 45,000. Look at Bohm. $1 billion market
Man,
cap
don't
in a
even get me
24-hour
started
period.
on Bone. That was an insider scam, but
It was 100%. No. I agree,
I
Tommy.
always
But
say that's a feature, not a bug. But like, I I want to talk about Bone for a second because I saw it on Deck Screener when it was at like 20 to $30 million market cap. Um, and I faded because Book of Meme, like that's super corny. That's the type of thing you would expect to see on Avalanche or Base Chain. And they had it on Sol. And then they ran it to $1 billion in one day. And I don't know any person that bought it except for one person, like maybe one or two guys in the BB Discord. But I think that's funny too, because it's like you are maybe starting to see that breadth expand to where you can get these pumps without knowing anybody necessarily in the pumps, but not enough to where something like Bohm, I mean, it clearly siphoned all the meme liquidity over the weekend. So I do think it's a sign. It's just like what we've been saying, right? Like these memes popping off is more of a signal for, I think, what's to come. Given the backdrop of what we can see in the rest of the market. Sorry for cutting you off there, Will, but
No, you're good. I was more or less giving examples, and I think there's more to come. I think when you look at ETH, sorry about the birds in the background, but the savior in ETH, I think is going to be Base, man. I really do. I think Base is going to create that feature product, because here's the thing: we have to consider what ETH, or at least what I think ETH is going to promote the most, is going to be the layer twos or stacks that utilize Ethereum as their gas token, as their main feature token. And we see that with two in particular, right? Two layer twos in particular. I don't know if we want to call Coinbase layer two or whatever we're going to call it, but it uses ETH as its gas. And that's Base, and that's Arbitrum. And then people sit there and wonder why Arbitrum's not going to get wrecked on any type of systemic unlock, because they're going to promote it, because Arbitrum is using the Ethereum token as their main token. Whereas when you look at Polygon, Polygon uses Polygon token. So why would ETH want to promote Polygon over Arbitrum, right? And I think ETH will come back once people start utilizing those features between Base and Arbitrum. And we'll see that more at the top of the market. We're just not quite there yet.
Yeah.
We just can't put the pump on any of the ETH coins, man.
No,
They just can't hold any pumps.
I think we're close.
Hang on,
though, Tommy.
hang on. I can't let you get away with that, because we need the soybean chart right now.
Oh,
Tucker,
man.
pull it up immediately, brother.
You know I'm all over it, man.
Soybeans, guys. Soybeans. Enjoy your soybeans, guys. Today's punishment brought to you by Because Bitcoin is the soybean chart, 5-second time frame. Haikanashi brought to you by Pepperstone. Guys, this is very much so punishment. This is punishment. This is a virtual flogging, and I'm sorry we have to do it, but we have on YouTube right now 253 people watching with 83 likes. Guys, I'm at a loss for words, all right? 253 people on YouTube with 85 likes. This might be the lowest ratio of live viewers to likes that we've ever had. Guys, if you are enjoying the content, if you want to help us grow, if you want to continue to support us, all that I ask is that you please just take one quick moment out of your day. That's it. Just 1 second. You just grab your mouse and you just navigate it down to the like button, the little thumbs up button, and you just press it. That's all you got to do. I dream to live in a world where one day we don't have to ask for likes, guys. But unfortunately, our mega cap tech overlords demand that we get a lot of likes on our videos.
You forgot the
and our
word
live streams in
centralizing.
order to boost the content. So, guys, please, we will bend the knee to Zuckerberg and the Google executives, and we will get likes. So, guys, please help us grow. Take 1 second if you're enjoying the content. Hit that thumbs up button for us, guys. We got to at least run this up to 100. I know we can do it. 119. Bang. There we go. No more soybean chart, guys. No more soybean. But seriously, guys, thank you so much for being here. Hit that like. Hit that subscribe if you're new here. And also, guys, on Twitter, okay, on X, you have, we're nuking on Sugar, man.
It's
Sugar's
over.
nuking right now. Everybody go buy Sugar. Here's the deal, guys. On X as well, you guys have this special super secret function where you can hit not just the heart button, you can also hit that retweet button, guys. It's like 5 likes in one. So if you're enjoying the content, you really want to help us out, guys, do us a solid. Not only hit that like, but also hit that retweet button, guys. It really helps push the content. Spread that good word, guys. And again, thank you so much for being here. Dr. Monster says in all caps, Max, I'm begging Twitter guy who wants to get BBC for 100. I don't know what that means.
I think what he means is he's telling them that they need to get it for 150 while it's still available. But
it's not still available, brother. It's not. It's over. It's done. Yeah. You're cooked.
It's completely over.
Never again.
I do have one point though that I wanted to bring up to kind of what Tommy was saying with Ethereum, and that's I think that Ethereum is going to start cooking, relatively soon, and the reason for that is because I have about $5,000 in transactions that are locked up in Send and are never leaving my wallet because I can't get it to unlock. and that's in Solana, and that's the Solana network that we live in. And I think that it's only going to get worse, and there'll come a point where people that are utilizing the network that can't operate or do anything anymore, like I can't, with a bunch of locked up money who I'm too lazy to get a hold of Coinbase to unlock it all. At that point, they're going to start utilizing other networks that don't lock up. And that will be Ethereum and other ones.
I
So,
don't think there's congestion on Ethereum, bro. I
oh,
have no
there's a
problem
ton
spending.
if you look at the network. A ton. Like,
I
Solana is
haven't
literally
experienced
so
any
That's
congested,
delays.
it's
not a
not
good
even funny.
sign, though, Will, that there's congestion right now while you have other
I
chains
know.
popping off to this
That's what I'm
degree.
saying. It's gonna steer people away. That's what I'm saying.
As I've always said, I mean, I think that ETH has a lot of number go up catalysts, but I mean, this is we always meme about fundamentals, and I know this has been an ongoing discussion. Price is going higher, so we're talking about fundamentals, but I want to talk about a week ago, maybe even 2 weeks ago. Like Sol ETH, technically, in my opinion, looked terrible. Sol Bitcoin looked a little bit better, but to me, they looked set for breakdowns. This does kind of seem like one of those times where one of the only times I can remember where fundamentals are kind of mattering more than the technicals. Like for once, right? I mean, how often do we actually get to say that in crypto? Because it's like I said, Sol ETH, Sol Bitcoin, they both looked not the best a week or two ago, and now you have all of this on-chain activity. Both pairs are trading at new highs, so I do think you are maybe for the first time kind of seeing a layer one put pressure on Ethereum from the standpoint of like, okay, we are actually retail friendly, and you are seeing retail respond in kind. As I said, not to say that ETH doesn't have number go up catalyst, but the issue of like actual on-chain transacting. I mean, the proof is in the pudding for both Sol ETH and Sol Bitcoin. I thought both pairs were headed for breakdowns, and they're both at new highs. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that people just prefer to use the Solana network.
I remember, Tommy. I remember when you were texting me that you were like, "Bro, Sol BTC looks like garbage," and I was like, "Yeah, I agree. I agreed with you. It did, but then I turned off my brain and I said double bottom." And
I'm really surprised they turned that into the low that they did, but hey,
dude, I know. Double bottom.
The Bitcoin pairs can always look really ugly before they reverse. I will say that, but you nailed that one, Tucker. I definitely thought we were going to break down, and we didn't.
Yeah.
Think, Tommy, this has been every single drop to every single pump. It's always looked its worst. Think about 25K, right? When it hit 30, went up, rejected, came back to 25. It looked its worst, right? And then when it got up to 40, what did it do? It looked its worst. When it hit down to 19K, just barely tagged into it, it looked its worst. And I think like people just they continue to fade the easiest plays. When things feel the worst, when they look the worst, look to bid. It's basically it. Just shut up, shove, and go with it. Like, don't even argue with it because the trend's already in your favor. Why not shove the worst looking position you can think of, in the entire move as your entry? And really, like that's. I'll tell you this. Look, this is why I was able to catch these bottoms that I caught on Bitcoin, is because I shoved the most absolute atrocious looking every time on Bitcoin. I was like, this is the worst this thing can get right here. I was like, it can't get any worse than that, because if it snaps any more than this, it's over. I'm like, I got a bid here, and it worked. It worked. Just sticking to that thesis.
I think the pump that we're seeing in Sol relative to other majors right now, that's real, man. That's real. I always say I love FUDing ETH because I actually use it. I mean, I hate shitcoining on ETH, man. Not to say, and I literally just texted Tucker and Max like 15 minutes ago saying that I want to buy an on-chain shitcoin on ETH. But the actual ETH token, man, I mean, I do think there are real legitimate reasons to FUD ETH, and it'll catch up to Bitcoin as far as like returns.
Just shove Pepe, bro. It's so close to a bottom.
Mm-hmm.
It's so close.
I'm sure ETH is going to
check my Discord channel, bro. Check my channel. I just posted something. I'm not talking about it publicly. Check that out, man. That's where we're at.
I'm sure ETH will do that thing where it just lags all cycle and then doubles in the span of like 3 or 4 weeks at the very end of the cycle. That's probably how this goes.
This is literally Tommy's face, man, when he hasn't fed a beat. Oh my gosh. Gonna explode.
No, I
Back
mean,
to you,
don't get me wrong. Like, I think like
Mhm.
a lot of these coins will continue to chad. Solana's going to continue to chad because it has $5,000 locked up in my wallet. I couldn't imagine how much money it's got locked up in everybody else's wallet. So if it can't sell, it can't go down. That's the trick. That's the trick to the Solana network. The only way I could get anything unstuck or anything out of my wallet, because if I send more, it will actually get more money stuck, is I have to go to a bridge and actually bridge it out. So these bridges, I want to thank you guys for creating these. I didn't think that they would actually be useful. I thought they'd be complete garbage. But whoever made all the bridges, I appreciate you, because there'd be no other way I could get anything out of my wallet that was on the Solana network. Because I had to bridge it over to ETH and then pay a fortune to actually move that. But yeah, so I think like overall though, Tommy, I will say this. As much as we love the FUD ETH, do not fade base, bro. Base is the
Oh, I'm not.
solution to ETH. It is the solution. It uses ETH as the gas token, and it's like like not even a penny. Like it's basically free. It's free to use
But
that
dude,
network.
don't you think that that's bearish that they don't actually have their own token?
Yeah.
No,
it
I
is.
don't, because it's going to cause Ethereum to push them. It's just like Arbitrum.
I'd so much
No.
rather have Base have their own token, though. I would
Same. That would be
so much
so
rather.
bullish,
Well, it's
dude. It'd
because you
be
could bid
so
it,
bullish.
but instead you're going to be bidding ETH if you want to bid base.
I just feel like everyone's saying Base is so bullish, and I just like haven't really seen that happen yet. Maybe you're right, and it will, but
There's
Yeah, but that's
opportunity on base, and Will, I agree with you. One of the things I've been saying for a few months now is, I kind of feel like if we do have an ETH resurgence, it'll mostly be driven by a base chain, hype, because Coinbase will hype their chain, and the reality is that if you value the coins on base right now with other chains that are much bigger than it right now, it has a lot of room to grow. But I do agree to some extent, like, people are only going to be transacting on your chain for so long. One, you need opportunity, right? There has to be shitcoin opportunity, and base has opportunity in shitcoins, but it's like base is an insider chain. And I say that from the standpoint of, like, you can even see it with the meme coin wallets. They're very, very concentrated as far as who is holding the supply. But also as part of that, I do think you need a token as well, because people, if the world revolves around incentives. So you either need opportunity or the promise of a potential.
it'll be opportunity, Tommy. It'll be opportunity. But here's the thing: if we're talking about insider coins, let's talk about Boom. Let's talk about Boom, and that was on the Solana network that everybody praises, right? I mean, you couldn't get any more insider than that. Let alone the whale that came in with 500K and left with 5 million, right? I think people don't discuss these things enough. Like everybody jumped on the train of a multi-$100 million meme coin as if they were going to make 100x, when there was no possibility of anybody getting anything except for the people that basically are more or less illustrated the move, especially in a 24-hour period. To like see that kind of liquidity flow, that was it was all set up. Everything, like the exchange listings, the perps in under 24 hours, Tommy, perps in under 24 hours. I don't care how much volume it drove.
It
Tell me
was
somebody
weird.
wasn't paid.
It was weird, man, because like we're in the trenches for Soul shit coins. There's not a launch that goes above like 5 to 10 million without our Discord seeing it. And it's like all of a sudden overnight, this coin is trading at like 40 or 50 million. I have no idea where the volume came from. And it's getting listed on like, I did think it was funny, Book of Meme, and I think this is a good representation of what Will and I are talking about. Like, Bone got listed on Bybit and Binance before Tau, or maybe not Binance, but Bybit listed Bone before something like BitTensor, which is just kind of like, what is going on? But I mean, we probably could have leaned into that a little bit more, Will, truthfully. It is a feature, not a bug, to have these scams available. I think it just caught me off guard to have something like this present in the market where, I didn't really think it would have gotten the traction that it did, especially not so quickly.
But did it get the traction, or was it all a roadmap already preset?
Who knows? Who knows? I think like the actual bid to me is still up for debate. Like, was the bid organic from Solana users, or was it just, was it from maybe a fund that was market making? Either way, I think if you were able to catch the pump, congratulations, right? Because you caught a potential. I mean, if you got in at the right time, like the multiples were there for a kingmaker.
Morning.
Is Will talking?
I
I thought I heard him say something, and then it kind of like cut out. Never mind.
Yeah, somebody saying in the YouTube comments, base is being pushed because it's ETH's last stand. ETH can be an institutional play for yield, but Sol ate its lunch. For the L1 thesis, like that side of it, Sol is eating its lunch. I do think, though, like you said, ETH can lean into that institutional play a bit more than Solana can, especially because the SEC does still technically deem Solana as a security. We'll see how sticky that is and how much influence Gary Gensler is even going to have here in a few months. But ETH does technically still have that institutional angle over Sol. So I don't want to get, I FUD ETH, but like I said, I do think it has plenty of number go up catalysts.
Wait, you think Solana's a security, Tommy? What? What is this? Oh my gosh. Oh man, I love it. Jackus, what's up, bro? How we doing today?
Doing good, Max.
Are you good?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm hungry.
Hungry. All right.
I need the chef to make me something to eat. I'm hungry. I'm famished.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, kind of lost my needle there right now, but what is there to talk about right now? What do we want to discuss? Give me some bone.
So
we're nuking, Jackets. We're nuking.
Are we?
Jackus, start the buses. It's over, man. It's done.
Jackus, I need you to walk
12K next. 12K next.
Oh, lower than that. Lower.
Wait,
exit.
How evil the say market maker is, man.
He's a motherfucker, dude. I'm not even gonna hesitate to say that on YouTube, man. He's a absolute piece of crap.
Listen, some people told me exit all markets. Are we listening to those people? That's the question.
Well, didn't they tell you that when Bitcoin was at like 25K as well?
Yes.
Are those the same people? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
all right.
They told me at 18K. They told me at 25K, and they keep telling me so.
Yeah, you should have exited all markets at 25K. You should have listened to them.
No, listen, guys. We were just discussing this before we started the show for the public, right? And I was saying that, we had this discussion with Will that the thing is, guys, that everyone is panicking right now, and nothing has changed from the fact that BTC is holding its structure on both monthly, weekly, and even the freaking daily. The same goes for ETH. And everyone right now is trying to create. And, the thing is, I think the biggest thing is that people are mostly in shitcoins, all right? That's just the hard truth. And so if BTC or ETH is going up, or SOL, or BNB, nobody really cares because they are in the shitcoin trenches. And I mean, that's totally kind of fine. I understand it. The fiat world nowadays is full of shit and people are looking to make it, right? But that's the reason why we are not seeing so much euphoria just yet. And what's going on right now is that, as Max keep on repeating over and over again, that historically, anytime BTC broken above all-time highs, is that that's been historically the best time to shove in into alts. And I will keep on reminding this, but as long as ETH keeps on not outperforming BTC, alts in general will keep on not outperform BTC. And right now, those alts have been going sideways for the past 2 months, while BTC chatted from 39K to 73K. And you see all that, fabricated euphoria on social media, while in reality, most of people's alts are not moving. And that's just so hard to swallow. That's just the reality of it. And there's been some that outperformed well. Some people made a bank, like, for example, the meme coins, right? But I'm talking in general. And you can see that clearly when like what's currently going on is so many crypto influencers are creating their own meme coins, which is nothing more than rock coins. They're like, oh, it's just a meme, bro. It's like, it's just a prank, bro, right? But what they are really doing is that they are rugging their followers this way. And they can be like, it was just a meme, but we know what's going on. And the reason why they are doing this is because we had no Altseason yet. It's because they are not making easy money on the market. For if they have, they would not be doing this. That's just the way it is. And I do believe that, because I've been through a few cycles, I still do think that we are still yet to see that big of an alt season. And so far, I have seen nothing to change my mind regarding that, right? If ETH or BTC were to lose their structures, then all right, we would be looking for like a many more weeks and maybe months of downward. But until that happens, it's a shakeout. It's a scare out for the weekends that do not have enough conviction. That's what it is, and we are here to provide a perspective. And I do hope that once again, after a few weeks from now, few months from now, people come back and say, hey guys, you really helped us once again not to cheat our backs. I am here. I am happy to be here every single day, watching you guys, smashing the like button. I hope so. Not sure what the count is, but I had to sneak that in. But seriously, guys, I do hope that just like for those of you guys that remember, right, when we are trading on BTC around that what was it 40K area, and I was saying, hey, watch for the weekly close, do not cheat your backs until the hard time frame structure is lost. And that's what happened. And I do hope that once again because this is the scariest drop since that time, since early January. This is the scariest drop since then, right? All the past ones are minor. So I do get it. And I do hope that we help you guys see the forest, not the trees. But anyways, guys, just cook for a little. What do you guys have for us, Tucker?
Man, look at Soul flipping the current. That's hilarious, dude. Max, what do you think about that?
Dude, I think that
I mean, goodness gracious.
I think that's some bull market stuff right there, man.
Yeah.
People don't realize how hard we're gonna rip out of this little gully. That's the thing. Like, Sol has been leading the market since Q4 by like 2 weeks ish, 2 to 3 weeks. People don't realize that like the signal is right here, and we are much closer to a local low than we are to a global ceiling. It's just shocking to me. Like, Bitcoin halving is 5 weeks away. This happens every time at the all-time high. You have your risk on signal for this cycle, Solana chatting. Dude, we had, and this is why I keep saying your targets are way too low, is mainly because like people are looking at what happened with altcoins and they think it's frothy. And I don't blame them for thinking that, right? Because compared to what we had for the past 2 years of like dog shit bear market conditions, yeah, that was a lot of froth that we just had. You know, like Bitcoin went straight up, ETH ripped from like, 2,000 to 4,000 in a short period of time. Pepe pulled an 8x off of the accumulation that we aped. WIF, obviously, like we aped that at like 10 or 20 cents. It went to $3. It's still hanging out up there. It's like there has been some degree of froth, right? But at the same time, guys, we haven't even had the Bitcoin halving yet, and we haven't even seen Bitcoin dominance pull back. I keep saying that, so if it's like getting annoying, I guess, sorry, but like I just don't know how else to like work through this with you guys, because people are like, I mean, literally like 500 DMs a day. Bro, should I sell my altcoins? Dude, are you sure? Bro, what about this? Can you look at this altcoin for me, bro? Dude, it doesn't matter. Like literally whatever vehicle you choose to be long altcoins with is a personal decision. Like every altcoin, when Bitcoin dominance nukes over the next 6 to 9 months, is going to go crazy. It doesn't matter if you're in Poop Coin 1 or Poop Coin 2. They're all going to do extremely well. Did you really care last cycle if you were long Matic versus Sol from the initial entry? I mean, yeah, Matic actually did better, but was Sol a bad trade? No. Pulled 100x plus.
Yeah.
So
Ideally, you want to be in both marks. You want to be in both and ride the meat of the move. And that means not cheating your bags during the times like this.
Yeah, dude, I'm aping. I'm like excited that I have some VC shitcoin that gets unstaked this week and I get to buy more Pepe. Like, you don't understand, guys. Like, I'm salivating over this dip. Like, there's nothing that makes me happier than like momentum oscillators resetting at these levels, and I get to dump a VC shitcoin that's up a little bit and just rotate it into Pepe. Man,
Look at
that
this
is
chart,
euphoria.
man.
Not prices going up, but full stack jeeting a VC shitcoin for Pepe.
Yeah,
That is euphoria.
I agree. Look at this
I mean,
chart, man.
I'm gonna just say this to you guys. I'm speaking to the audience now. Okay, you can tell me I'm a jerk. You can tell me I'm insensitive. You can tell me whatever you want. I'm here to try to help you guys. Okay. You're being a pussy if this is literally like rocking your world right now. You need to actually just nut up. Okay. If you're scared of this type of volatility, go buy T-bills. Go buy T-bills. I don't know what else to tell you. Go park your money in a money market account. Robinhood will pay you 5% liquid. Go earn your 5%. Me?
Yeah.
I'm aggressively buying these dips because I recognize what's right around the corner, whether it's tomorrow or whether it's next month. But man, the anxiety, like you need to nut up, guys. Like I'm serious. I'm not trying to be rude, but like someone has to tell you, you have to nut up. This type of volatility happens in crypto. That's what happens. Maybe I'm insensitive, maybe I'm a jerk, but seriously, guys, like that's just how it goes. Someone needs to tell you, all this anxiety on the timeline. I'm so nervous. My unrealized gains. Oh no, that was triple top on Bitcoin. Oh no. God, man. Nut up.
Look at this chart, Max. Observe.
Literally Gito to double digits, man.
Who could have foreseen?
Tommy could have foreseen.
Still nobody talking about this coin, man. They'll talk about it when it's already done the Jupiter move. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm with you, Max. I don't even know what to tell people anymore, other than we're gonna go straight up in a straight line from here, and you just need to be along for the ride.
Tucker, can we get dubious, brother? Are you fine getting dubious today? I've got something I'm hoping you can curate for me. Let me know.
What are we getting dubious on?
I'd like you to pull up the NASDAQ from 1990 to 2002, and then I'd like you to pull up the total crypto asset class.
Jesus Christ. All right. So are we
put NASDAQ on the left, brother?
No, right there.
No. NASDAQ on the left. Let's do
NASDAQ. We're gonna need it up and down, though, I think.
No. We don't need it up and down. We need left and right.
What ticker do you want? NDX or NDQ or whatever?
Either one's fine.
Or NQ1. There's too many. All right, let's see.
Let's just go back to 1990 to 2000.
Where was that? Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So guys, during
what?
this phase, this was the mainstream adoption of tech. Okay. This is when everything that was www just got bid up like crazy. Didn't matter what it was, guys. It literally does not matter what. Anything that was www got bid. Now, you look back on this phase and you go, okay, you know, that's all fine and dandy, but the reality of this, I would either go log or linear. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I would go log or linear. You got to pick one though.
I think you're gonna have to do log, huh?
No, I kind of like linear.
You literally can't see total if you do linear. You can't see it.
So, guys, we are entering the golden age of crypto speculation, okay? Where there's now more regulatory clarity than there ever has been. There's more global adoption than there ever has been. There's more institutional interest than there ever has been. You know, our minds think and operate in sort of like a linear fashion. All right, we have a difficult time comprehending exponentials, viewing things in log. Okay. You know, the idea that the total crypto asset class right now is worth roughly what Nvidia is worth, you know, it's a joke. There's going to be a major repricing. We also have charts. If you were to chart total against Nvidia, they actually kind of trade cleanly against one another, but I digress. From a sentiment perspective, okay, what we're on the brink of right now is big money that controls trillions of dollars of liquidity entering their first crypto cycle. Honestly, being probably the lesser educated of all of us that have been here for at least a cycle or two, they just have a lot of money and they're going to ape because the pitch deck looks nice. Okay. You are about to see excess and speculation in crypto over the next couple years, in my opinion, like you've never seen before. And it's off the backs of the Bitcoin spot ETFs. Last cycle, when institutions, family offices, high net worth individuals wanted to speculate and go out far on the risk curve, they bought Bitcoin. That is no longer speculation. That is no longer risk for them. It's not. You can go buy it in an ETF. Risk is VC shitters. Risk is meme coins. Risk is proof of works that are brand new. Okay. This is different. This is different. We're in we're entering a new decade of speculation and froth and excess. And I think it's going to be somewhat familiar to the mania and speculation that we saw when the internet was coming about. How many times? I mean, you guys have all seen the newspaper articles, right? It's like some guy saying the internet dies, millions give up hope. I don't remember who the guy was, but if you looked up like, newspaper FUD internet article, you'd find it. This is where we're at with crypto, guys, where, last cycle, the same types of articles were written, like that same gully was written. Millions give up hope. Crypto's dead. SBF, Voyager, Celsius, BlockFi, blah, 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 blah. This asset class is here to stay. Most of these projects are not. There will be a dozen that, stand the test of time. Whether you can pick them or not, good luck. I feel like everyone will pick a few. But we are entering that age of speculation where anything that is blockchain, anything that is digital asset, anything that is, an L1, L2 doesn't matter. It's just going to get bid up like crazy. We're entering our age of the NASDAQ bubble in 1995 to 2000. That's it.
Just cut it. Just end the stream right there after the battle speech, Max. Yeah. No, I mean, I generally agree. I don't, Jackus has talked about this too, right? The fallacy of the diminishing return theory, right? How it's true right now. It's all been real and true because the market cap of the asset class has grown. But at some point you do, I'm viewing it as like we've been doing this. And at some point you just, you just do that if we are gonna, like actually get a quote unquote global adoption, right? Which I would argue we're getting there pretty quickly.
Linear, Tucker. Can you go linear?
Yeah, it doesn't even.
So put that way down in the bottom left, brother. Like that's fine, but move your total chart like way down, like squish that shit. Yeah, there we go. Like now bring it left. Yeah, like you're kind of like ascending right now. Like you are, I don't know. I just feel like 10 trillion gets sliced through like a hot knife through butter, and we probably go to like 20 to 25. Honestly,
I feel like you're there.
Yeah, I do too.
Mm-hmm.
I really do.
I wanna show you guys something. Tucker, if you could pull up the IWM chart, I think it's supportive of this idea, Max, is if you could pull up the IWM chart on a higher time frame, and then the consolidation that's sold. Oh God.
Don't worry about that, guys. Whoa.
So yeah, that consolidation, and then on the other chart, can you pull up Solana in 2021 spring and summer? So when it went to like 45, then back down to like $20.
Do I need to zoom in a little bit? Probably.
Yeah, a little bit. Daily's perfect.
What'd you say?
This? Nope, a little bit higher. That one. Tell me that the IWM doesn't look exactly like that consolidation in Solana right now.
Oh my.
How can you be bearish on altcoins and low caps when you look at something like this? We don't have to put the overlay. The overlay will go to the Giga Chats. I will say that. I'm not going to share it
for sure.
YouTube, but I do have one, and it's pretty spicy.
That's all you need to see right there.
Yeah. Okay, so Tommy, walk me through it, man. What are you really expecting with IWM?
I mean, I trade patterns, right? I look at that pattern and I see something that has a lot to break out to the upside. And now obviously IWM is not going to have a parabola to the same degree as, a crypto shitcoin, but I'm sure that if you break out in similar fashion, and we're talking about like a 2-year or 2.5-year breakout on IWM, that has legs to it, in my opinion. And, there are supportive areas of the market, I think, that show you that this is possible. The dollar is something that we've talked about a lot, specifically small caps like Robinhood, I think is very reflective of where IWM can be. Essentially a small cap that's breaking out of a multi-year consolidation and reflective of retail interest in stocks and crypto. So, yeah, I mean, look, I think you think speculative assets are going to rise. Like, this is the pattern that you want to play, in my opinion.
So how can you reconcile that, Tommy? Like, are you expecting more or less a melt up in equities? Are you
I don't know
expecting
about a melt up in like indices. Maybe at some point we do, like we will get one, I'm sure. But as far as like small caps, I mean, we kind of already talked about it, and Will touched on it earlier too. If inflation is going to be slowly creeping up, then people are going to be buying, like people are going to lean into that narrative. Inflation rising was a big reason that crypto caught such a bid. I think from people who weren't as familiar or comfortable in the ecosystem in 2021. I distinctly remember that. People talking about buying Bitcoin as a like that's where the hedge against inflation narrative really started was in 2021. And I think you'll probably see that persist, you know, that you're essentially allocating to beat inflation rather than based on fundamentals. So you're seeing meme coins right now pop off in crypto. Why not see the equivalent of like a meme index and stocks pop off?
Tommy, all I want to say is ding, 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 ding. I think just not enough people get it. You know, they don't get it. Inflation going up means I need to hedge. Where do I hedge? Risk. If I think inflation is going to come back with a vengeance, I hedge an even higher risk because I think it's going to grow with inflation. And so people are late to the show. People are looking at inflation, and you've got a whirlwind of things that can turn into a freaking tsunami, right? A tsunami that just hits the beach running and wrecks the entire city. And I think just everybody's going to come in late rather than early, and we're positioning early, while everybody else is going to come in much later once they see the froth start to settle in and they get forced in by, you know, just general frothiness, right? People will get forced into the market. They'll be like, everything looks clear, it looks good, you know, the sun's out, even though there's a wave the size of the city coming at the beach, you know, and they're ignoring the wave, and they don't see that everybody's running in at the same time, versus like you could have been positioned before everybody started running in, and now you could be walking away with your winnings, aka leaving the city as the tsunami's getting ready to hit it, versus trying to get on the beach as the tsunami's getting ready to hit it.
And if this plays out, Will, our altcoins, gorillions. I mean, they're going to
Bro, I
infinity.
have no doubt that this cycle, most altcoins will be in the $1 billion market cap. Most of them. And I'm talking shit coins, not even like general coins, culture coins.
So Tommy, let me ask you about this. Okay. You're expecting IWM to go crazy.
Yes.
What do you think the NASDAQ and S&P 500 and Dow Jones would do if something like this happened on the Russell?
Well, I think, you know, we can kind of lean into that NVIDIA fractal, right? Like you make all-time highs, you consolidate for a little bit, and then you blow off. That's probably, we're in the consolidation phase right now, so it only makes sense that you see the beginnings of that rotation out of the S&P and into some of these smaller caps. And like I said, there aren't a lot of small caps that are showing a ton of strength, but I think there's like a handful. Especially if you're like really in the weeds picking stocks. I'm sure there's a lot more than I know. I think there's a handful that are really showing you their hand, right? That they want to move up. They look like altcoins back in October or November, for example. So, you know, I think but to go back to your question, Max, I really think that we can use NVIDIA more or less as a blueprint for not just how Bitcoin can trade, but also how the S&P can trade, which would entail probably sideways here for a little bit on the S&P. But if it is going to pull an NVIDIA, you'd have to imagine the S&P and the NASDAQ probably, you know, go up in a straight line at some point too.
The biggest thing here is like the gains probably won't be as significant in the higher caps, but it'll be much, much, much more in the lower caps. And I think that one thing too is that a lot of people don't understand is like, and no tout to myself obviously, but like I think everybody's made a killing this cycle. Like we're already far ahead. Like I don't even need to finish the cycle essentially. That's how far ahead we are at this point. And and I mean that more in the way of like, if you were just smart about your moves, you've made a ton of money on the way up. And if you've been sitting here talking about how the next recession is going to happen, you just sat on the sidelines coping the whole time with no way to actually make money. You will be forced in when you least expect it. Either you'll be forced in or you'll walk away. Those will be your only two options.
You always want to walk away when you're on top, but that's the hardest thing that I think that's really something you can only gain from experience is walking away when you're already ahead.
Yeah,
But most people will be left holding the bag, like you said, Will. It's a tale as old as time.
Yeah, and I'm talking more about the people walking away or forced in, not really being the people that have already, you know, pretty much won this cycle and still have so much more to gain from the cycle. It's the people that are just now starting to come in or just now starting to accept what's going on, or who are still like in denial, more or less, right? Those are the people that sit there and they have a hard time grasping that reality is real. Hence the word reality. I mean, you would think that the two go hand in hand, but when the market goes up, that's a real thing. It's not fictitious. It's not like the bear market bounce discussion was over at 25K. Once you broke 30, it was over. Like your bear market bounce was done. It was cooked. That whole thesis was cooked. So for you to sit here and say I'm not going to bid here, and you haven't bid the whole time, good luck. You've probably never made money in your life. So you're probably not going to make money continuing moving forward. I would say this, like if you're sitting at all-time high and you're contemplating can the market go higher, look at every single asset out there that has hit all-time high. Almost all of them have blasted through this all-time high. They can hover, they can sit, they can pull back, but they're going a lot higher than what people are anticipating.
We got a super chat I think we should talk about here. Thank you, Rufus Doofus, $10. Very generous of you. Anybody here have thoughts on using TNA to play IWM breakout?
That name sounds familiar, the ticker. I don't remember what it is, but
I think it's rates, isn't it?
TNA.
Am I wrong on that?
Let me see.
I thought it was
It's a small cap 3x bull share. Okay, gotcha.
Oh, what's the rates one? Is it?
I'll be honest. I think this is not
TNX,
financial advice, but I think long-term IWM calls are like that are way out of the money are horrendously mispriced. I don't know about a levered ETF because obviously you have the decay aspect of it, but the out of the money calls for IWM are still they're still dirt cheap, man. I was looking at them last night.
Let me just show you something about Rufus Doofus. Here's TNA is up top. It makes me think of the Wolf of Wall Street when he's like TNE. He's like TNA. You said TNE. Like, no, I didn't. You remember that scene with Mad Max?
Okay, no, I haven't seen Mad Max. Ironically, though, my
Tommy?
My fiance has. She's been trying to get me to watch it, actually.
Bro.
So Rufus Doofus, here's the thing to note about TNA. So there's a lot of decay on this ticker. So IWM is down below, TNA is up above. You can see that it gets destroyed to the downside. Like, look at how much deeper this retrace went on TNA than it did on IWM. Like, if it were 1-to-1, IWM would have gone down here. You see the difference? So just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind if you're going to play TNA. It's really not designed for a long-term hold. It's designed for like couple week-long exposures to it. So again, if we zoom, let's go down to like the 4-hour. Okay. So these 3 times leveraged vehicles, like if we go down here and we take a move up, 26%. 96%. So if you're looking to take like a day trade, over, even like a month, right, and catch a big move, yeah, great vehicle. But I wouldn't try to hold it for more than 30 days, just because then you start it's like holding an options, right? There's theta decay, but with these levered ETFs, it's called contango, where they're basically programmed to just bleed in perpetuity to zero. So just keep that in mind. Like, it's a good vehicle for like a day trade, but this high time frame chart should probably scare you out of holding it long term. But yeah.
Wow, man. IWM.
Guys.
That's a kingmaker.
Jackus.
Yeah. I saw that there was finally a little bit of breather. So I thought I would jump in and just add that, to the altcoin bleed that we got recently, is that people have a hard time holding the positions because they hold no convictions on them. Because if you guys have convictions, then you wouldn't have problem holding the current market drop on altcoins, on the alts that you have the conviction on. And the question really is, how do you hold a conviction, right? Because if you are like, all right, this coin it has high TPS, so I'm holding a conviction. Is that something that's enough for you, right? Because you can hold conviction fundamentally, where you like, I see lots of folks having high conviction on, for example, even BTC, right? Someone that jumps in on BTC and doesn't understand it, like from the TradFi guys, they will G their bags on the first minus 30% drop because they'll be like, all right, this Ponzi is dumping. But a holder, some BTC maxi that understands BTC, he will have no freaking problem. He'll be like, oh, thank you, minus 30% drop, I'm buying more. And that's the big difference. And you can look at the Kaspa community. Those guys have strong conviction on that. They've done a deep research, and they will be buying these. And you can also hold the conviction, based on technical analysis, which I do hold very well myself on many altcoins, right? So I would suggest everyone, before they are entering a position, to understand what they are entering based on. And if something changes, or like, if kind of the structure changes and they have no conviction about it otherwise, then they should really be flipping the position, or you want to build the position, right? The conviction there. So for example, my conviction on DXY going way lower, right? I do that based on my intermarket analysis, which you guys know is quite strong. And I'm having strong conviction there. And I do not fear any intraday buys or like the DXY going up, right? Because I'm pretty convicted there. And I do believe this would help lots of people to manage these dips that we are currently getting in the market. So just thought that it's worth sharing this.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why with all my stuff, I'm saying to everybody, I'm like, I'm viewing this as a good opportunity to rotate. If I could just get my damn VC scams unstaked, I'm so damn close. It's this week. Pepe and I have a date with destiny. All right. I went to college. I studied hard. That's not true. I slacked my way through college. I built multiple businesses only to make it at a young age with a frog coin. Funny world we live in, isn't it?
Gotta give Max the conviction on Pepe, right? That's a conviction, for example. Like, he studied the chart from literally any angle, right? He compared Pepe to freaking Doge, BTC, to money supplies, to whatever, guys, whatever. He looked at the timings and everything. It's a meme coin. It has, the only value there is the speculation. The value there is the meme, but there really is no value apart from that. He holds the conviction that he studied all these charts. He understands cycles. He understands market psychology. He understands the apes will just keep on buying, because people are greedy. That's a conviction. He built that. He has no problem holding during these dips. That's the difference.
Very true, Jackus. I'm actually excited because I'm about to rotate some more money into it here very, very soon. But that's because I understand the play, right? Like, if I didn't have conviction in the play and I didn't understand it myself, and that's why I always tell people too, you can't just go and copy trade somebody. Like, there's a lot of people copy trading me right now, like on Twitter. And they're so anxious because it's not their play and they don't understand it because they haven't put in 9 months of like diligent, neurotic studying on this play like I have. I'm so calm about this because I knew this was going to happen, this little pullback. Like, I knew it was going to happen somewhere around here, and I'm ready for it. But days like today, for people that are just following me, they're like anxiously waiting for an update, and they're super nervous about what comes next. And they're just hoping that like it works out. Me, I have the utmost confidence in my thesis. I do. And you have to develop that level of conviction, whether it's Pepe, whether it's stocks, whether it's AI coins and crypto, whether it's NFTs. You have to have your own conviction on it. You cannot make it off of somebody else's conviction, because their conviction alone is not enough confidence for you to not jeet your bags on volatility. It's simply not.
Everyone wants to get rich with as little work as possible, but the reality that I'm going to tell you guys is that there's no substitute for screen time, period. There's just not.
There literally isn't. Like, somebody asks me, hey, how do you become good at TA? How do you become good at like timing and understanding the market moves? I mean, yeah, you need to learn the strategies, right? Like you need to learn what to look for. But after you learn what to look for, you literally have to just spend your life staring at it and recognizing it. Like, I can't even tell you how many hours I've spent like building models out on TradingView, building charts out, looking at pairs, looking for like little secret things that like nobody else is seeing. I can't even tell you guys how much of my life over the past 5 years has been screen time. And same for all these guys. I know that that's the case. Same for all these guys.
You got to love it. You got to love the game, man. That's how it is.
Here's what I'm going to tell you guys with SPX. This is all you need to know. Okay. Here's your secret. Learn how to recognize it when it eventually happens.
Study.
Do not short until weekly bear div on RSI for SPX. Do not short. You are in one of these phases right here. Okay. You are in one of these mechanical walk-up phases right now. Everybody wants to, look for a short. You are in this phase right here. Okay. Where you had a big drop and you just literally twap yourself up for an extended period of time until there's a weekly time frame bear div. Okay. Do not short. Do not short until you see a weekly div. Then go gung-ho. There's your secret sauce, guys. It's that simple. Let's go back even further. It's that simple. Here's another one. Again, here's another one. Do not short until you see this div. Here's the div. You're in one of these mechanical walk-up phases right here. You're not going to lose these EMAs, okay? You're just simply not going to do it. Look at this. Same thing here. Start to see multiple divs. Exit all markets, okay? You're in a mechanical walk-up phase. Do not short. Wait for the weekly divs, guys. Look at this is where you're at. I'm trying to help. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to help. Just
Max
trying to
here.
help you. Max here to help. Come on, Tucker. Give me a smile or something. You like that one.
Max here to help. Oh man. Wow. Sorry, I was doing something else. Yeah. Hagrid's here to help too, guys. Don't worry. Don't fret.
Okay. All right, guys, we're going to call it here. Guys, thanks so much for being here. Went for about an hour and a half today. Thank you so much for being here. Before you go, please consider liking and also subscribing if you are new here. Last but not least, check out the first link in the description below where you can join our premium services. Right now, it is a Discord. It is kick ass. It is definitely worth the price that you will see on our website as we meet for over 2 hours per day. We share every single trade that we make, disclose all of our spot holdings, all of our updates, private analysis. It will absolutely take your trading to the next level. So consider checking out the first link in the description below. You will also get BB Terminal, which is our new flagship product launching right around the Bitcoin halving for no additional cost. That will be grouped in with your Discord membership. It's basically a Bloomberg terminal, but for crypto people, and it's very easy to use. Again, that will take your trading seriously to the next level, help you manage your portfolio, spot trends, everything that you could ever want bundled into one convenient package, again, included in your Discord membership. So get in sooner rather than later, guys. Check the first link in the description below. Browse some reviews. Check out some pictures, the whole thing. But again, guys, thanks so much for being here. I'm going to kick it over to Tommy to say a final farewell.
Thanks, Max. Real quick before I do my outro, I'm going to bug you guys one last time. If you could leave a like, if you haven't already, on your way out, it would mean the world to us. Y'all's support has really helped us grow this channel really over the last few months. So shout out to you guys one last time. Before we wrap up, another great Monday show, another great start to the week. Reminder about our programming. You guys know that Market Check will be live Monday through Friday. Same time as always, typical start time around 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As you guys see, we talk charts, we talk technicals, we talk everything in between, and we have a lot of fun doing it. So make sure to tune in for that if you enjoyed today's content, as well as Market Talk, our flagship show, which is a Twitter space hosted by the legendary King Wabi. He does a great job hosting exceptional guests throughout the week. As I always say, you never know which direction Market Talk is going to go. And I say that in a good way because, we can talk markets, crypto, equities, meme coins, might have a Bitcoin ETH debate, might have a macro debate. Some, the conversation will vary a lot, but it's always a great show. Like I said, Wabi does a great job over there. That typical start time is around 4:15 to 4:30 Eastern time start. But that's it from us, guys. Like I said, we'll be back tomorrow for another episode of Market Check. Y'all stay safe. Have a great rest of your week. And we'll see what Bitcoin and the rest of the markets give us here to work with as we get into tomorrow. But thanks again.